Right now, we are getting ready to honor the longest serving female senator in American history. That is Senator Dianne Feinstein, who passed away last week after serving our country for more than 3 decades. This is a live look at San Francisco City Hall, where her career began. She first was the mayor of the city where she was born and then had quite a trailblazing career. We continue our team coverage right now. We have KCRA3's Edie Lambert anchoring our coverage from San Francisco. Also, we have political analyst Kevin Riggs here. Edie, we talked a little bit about the speakers that are coming today to speak at her memorial, which begins at 1. Any surprises for who's speaking there today?
I think that some people were surprised that the governor is not speaking. He has connections to the late Senator Feinstein that go back to his very earliest days in politics, and of course, both of them with deep roots here in San Francisco. Considers her a dear friend, and so I think some people were surprised that he would not be speaking, but he will be attending. As for the speakers, there was also some surprise expressed about Kamala Harris, because the vice president and the late senator were not especially close, especially given that they both served the state of California as U.S. senators, the fact that they both have deep roots here in San Francisco politics. You mentioned Dianne Feinstein's start with the Board of Supervisors and serving as mayor here at City Hall, and of course Kamala Harris serving as the district attorney of San Francisco before becoming the state attorney general and then a U.S. senator. But given that they have such common history, you can really understand that her speech, I'm sure, will be heartfelt, and she has a deep understanding and appreciation for the doors that the late Senator Feinstein opened. Another surprise to me, just because I didn't know, is that Dianne Feinstein's granddaughter actually works here at City Hall and works for the current mayor, London Breed. So kind of a full circle moment as she will be on stage today honoring her grandmother.
And really, it is surprising, Edie, you're correct that the governor is not going to be addressing this crowd today. That was something that I would have expected. But certainly, the folks who do get up and speak about Senator Feinstein are going to talk about the fact that she has this amazing legacy. You hear the term trailblazer tossed around quite a bit. It actually totally is appropriate in this case, because Dianne Feinstein, she came up in a very tough world of San Francisco politics, and especially at a time in the 60s and the 70s as a woman when it was even tougher at that time. And so she was able to get into office and really use that toughness and her own smarts to accomplish things, to get things done. And a lot of that had to do with her centrist personality, her belief in centrist government. So she was somebody who was not a partisan bomb thrower. She certainly didn't cry out for compromise, but she was willing to talk to both sides and work out deals when necessary. And because she was a centrist, she was able to be fairly effective many times over the course of that long career in the U.S. Senate. Again, 31 years in the Senate, longest serving woman in the U.S. Senate, and certainly the longest that we've seen for some time. Probably will never see that record ever matched again.
Yeah, and Edie, you mentioned that this is a full circle moment for her granddaughter, who now works for the mayor's office of San Francisco, an office that she once held. How also has she helped to really impact the next generations?
I love that you just asked me that, Lisa, because just going back to what Kevin was talking about and being a trailblazer and a first for so many different things, I was looking back at coverage from when Dianne Feinstein was first running for the Board of Supervisors, and certainly as she was running for the mayor of San Francisco. So much coverage was about what she was wearing. Her hair, was her jewelry appropriate, her shoes. And you go fast forward now, when you take all of her public service into account, 50 years from that point, we're talking about her landmark gun control legislation. We're talking about the fact that she was the first woman to head up the Intelligence Committee for the United States Senate. It's very substantive. And so it's been very interesting for me to look back historically historically at how much has changed since she first took office. And going back to your question, Lisa, I have a quote that I wrote down. This is from Dianne Feinstein. Women have begun to see that if I go through the doorway, I take everybody through it. And I think that really cuts to the heart of what you're talking about. And it's not just women. Senator Alex Padilla adjourned Senate a little early this week to give senators a chance to come to California to attend this memorial service. And he started out in her office. He worked in the Los Angeles office for U.S. Senator Feinstein. And so it's not just women who she pulled up through the ranks. We see her with a very long shadow over this next generation of leaders.
And she certainly met adversity in a very effective way. I mean, look at how she assumed the mayorship of San Francisco in 1978 with the assassination of Mayor George Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk. She was, in many respects, someone who helped to keep the city together, to calm fears, and to bring the city forward at a very, very difficult time, a very tumultuous time. She ran for the governorship in 1990, beat John Vandekamp, and she was not expected to do that, but she exceeded expectations and beat him in that race, and then narrowly lost the governorship to Pete Wilson in 1990. That, of course, set up her for running successfully for the U.S. Senate in 1992, the so-called Year of the Woman. So she had worked very hard over that long period of time to prove that she could do the job. And again, very effective, but also very gracious, and always had, in my experience in covering her, a real human touch.
Yeah, she was the first for so many things, and we'll continue to go over all of that as we continue to cover this memorial. Edie, thank you so much. Thank you, Kevin. And again, we'll continue to follow that. And following this newscast, we will bring you Senator Feinstein's memorial live right here on KCRA 3. That begins at 1 p.m.